You won't believe what's supposedly going down on the set of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, according to rumors blowing across the streets of social media and tefled blogs. A startling brawl may have recently rocked the cast, and if what's being speculated even remotely true, we're looking at one of the most combustible moments in franchise history, supposedly during the production of a new scene for the forthcoming season. Erica Mena. Yes, Erica is believed to have gotten into a hot face-off with none other than Mendeecees. And the fight didn't just stop at words. Reports believe it developed into a full-blown slap filmed on video, leaving cast and crew stunned into silence. And guess who was right there when it all went down? Yandy Smith, Mendeecees' wife. According to insiders, wasted no time demanding Erica's immediate removal from the program. We are not saying this absolutely happened, but numerous behind-the-scenes sources are singing the same scandalous tune, and if even a quarter of it makes it to television, audiences are in for pure reality TV turmoil. So what really occurred? Why did Erica supposedly snap? And how is Yandy weathering the blowback? Let's delve into this issue. The scenario apparently began like any other informal shoot for the new season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. The group had met at. The setting was relaxing, with lights dimmed, candles on the tables, gentle music playing in the background, and producers delivering last-minute directives through earpieces. The moods were light, but somewhere behind the camera, tension was silently rising, according to people present at the shoot. Things started unraveling the moment Erica Mena arrived. She strode in wearing a red silk jumpsuit, her typical swagger on full display, and instantly, some crew members muttered that her energy was off from the start. Erica was supposedly running late, and some say she strolled in already clearly unhappy. The other cast members, including Yandy, Smith, Harris, and Mendeecees, were already seated at the long dining table when she entered, and immediately from the first few interactions it was evident that something wasn't right. Producers reportedly had no idea what was about to transpire. They were anticipating ordinary shade, maybe a snide comment or two. The usual reality TV spice was a storm. It began gently. Erica reportedly made a caustic joke about how some people just can't keep their guys off social media, a comment that many sources believe was intended at Yandy. Yandy, ever composed, smiled firmly and said, "Some of us don't have to." The vibe at the table transformed instantaneously. Laughter faded, side eyes flew across the room. Mendeecees, seated just 2 spots away from Erica, looked down at his plate, and Erica reportedly rolled her eyes and let out a tiny giggle before saying something under her breath about how trusting doesn't mean your boyfriend isn't still crawling. Yandy raised her head and questioned, "Do you have anything to say, or are you just throwing hints?" The air got heavy, the casual vibe shattered, and Erica leaned forward. Her voice was low, but according to an on-set witness, it cut through the room like a knife. She allegedly said, "I'm just saying, if he has nothing to hide, why is he emailing ladies after midnight?" Gasps. Producers paused filming for a beat, thinking it was just typical scripted tension. But then Mendeecees finally spoke, looking right at her and saying, "You're reaching." That's when everything plummeted. The camera team apparently kept shooting, but even they weren't prepared for what occurred next. Erica allegedly pulled out her phone, waved it slightly, and exclaimed, "Am I?" "Because I got receipts on the table." According to many reports, she went silent. She didn't display anything at the time, but the threat of evidence was enough to rattle everyone. Yandy said calmly but firmly, "What receipts?" Erica laughed and shrugged. If you really want to know, you can ask your man about those DMs from back in February." Yandy's expression reportedly transformed in an instant from calm to chilly, the kind of switch that only happens when something touches a nerve. Asked, "Is there something you forgot to tell me?" Mendeecees, taken off guard, answered, "I don't know what she's talking about." She's clearly making things up for attention. But Erica wasn't backing down, and she drew forward again, and in a tone described as both sarcastic and deadly serious allegedly remarked, "So now I'm a liar. Okay, good, just remember I tried to be quiet." That was the trigger point, according to insiders. Mendeecees stood up at this point. He didn't yell, he didn't move near her, he just stood there, pointed at Erica, and said, "Stop trying to destroy people's homes. You've already burned through yours." Gasps again. Someone from production murmured, "Cut." But no one actually cut. The cameras kept filming. Erica stood up, and now the energy was palpable. The table was between them, but the emotional fire had already passed the line. Witnesses claim Erica's voice rose as she shouted, "Don't ever talk about my family. You don't get to judge me when you're out here acting like you're single." Mendeecees shouted something back, supposedly something snarky, and that's when it occurred. In a flash, Erica went around the table and producers tried to stop her. Crew members sprang up, but before anybody could respond, Erica allegedly smacked Mendeecees across the face with an open palm. The impact resonated like thunder in the room, creating a startled calm that freezes time. Yandy reportedly leaped up swiftly and screamed, "Are you serious?" Her hands were shaking, her voice shook, and the entire room dissolved into turmoil. Producers surrounded the scene, security came in, and someone shouted, "Camera down." As a cameraman accidentally slipped amid the uproar, Mendeecees did not retaliate. He stepped back surprised, his palm to his cheek, eyes fixated on Erica in amazement. Erica, breathing heavily, said, "Don't act like you're innocent. You've been disrespecting her behind closed doors." Her voice trembled, some claim there were tears in her eyes, others say it was pure wrath. Yandy pushed past to producers, trying to hold her back, and got right in Erica's face. Her remarks, according to witnesses, were clear. "As day you're done, you're not coming back after this." Erica chuckled a chilly, short laugh and remarked, "You always think you're in control, but this ain't your show." That line apparently pushed Yandy into complete anger, but before she could respond, a senior producer stepped in and forcibly separated the two. Numerous cast members who were initially off camera hurried into the room, some trying to calm Erica, others pulling Yandy back. The filming was paused on a spot, the set was closed down, and security escorted Erica while she was still ranting over her shoulder. The truth always comes out. Protect your husband if you want, but don't protect his lies. And just like that, what was intended to be a nice ketchup supper turned into the most surprising incident Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has ever seen, according to those who were there. While producers did neither confirm or deny the incident, one unnamed crew member told an industry blog, "I've worked 10 seasons and never seen anything like that." Now, with the supposed footage currently being evaluated by the network, rumors are circling. Will the slap air and the final edit? Will Erica be formally removed from the season? And what does this mean for Yandy and Mendeecees' relationship moving forward? Whatever the outcome is, as Erica was carried off set with her voice still ringing down the hallway, the entire actors stood still, unable to properly grasp what had just happened. Mendeecees, visibly upset, sat back down and quiet, while Yandy strode near the monitors, visibly seething and screaming under her breath. The entire atmosphere had switched from planned reality drama to something raw and entirely unscripted. Crew members stood awkwardly around the edges waiting for orders. Producers crowded off camera. They were contemplating whether the shoot should continue or be called off entirely. One assistant director was caught remarking, "This footage is fantastic, but it's also a legal nightmare." Back at the table, Rashida had finally entered the room after filming her solo confessional in the next suite. Her heels clicked quickly across the floor as she entered the turmoil, and the look on Yandy's face told her something major had happened. "What happened?" she asked, approaching cautiously. Yandy turned to her, hands still trembling slightly. She hit him. Rashida, Erica slapped Mendeecees out of nowhere. In front of everyone. Rashida's jaw dropped, weight slapped on camera. Yandy nodded, her voice low but intense, and she had the nerve to talk about DMs like she knows something I don't like. She has receipts. It was a setup. Meanwhile, Mendeecees sat with a blank face. His fingers drummed lightly against the table, but he didn't say anything until Rashida approached him and gently placed her hand on his shoulder. "Are you all right?" she asked, and he nodded slowly. "I didn't believe she'd take it that far," she said, spiraling. It didn't take long for the entire scenario to start spilling. Even before the cameras were officially switched off, word had already begun to circulate through text messages and cast group conversations. According to insider blogs, an unidentified crew member messaged a well-known blogger, saying, "You won't believe what just happened on set. Erica Mena slapped Mendeecees. Chaos." By the next morning, social media was humming with mysterious remarks. One fan page wrote, "Something happened between Erica and Mendeecees. Insiders claim it's bigger than we believe. Yandy is hot." Within hours, #El was trending, and comments flooded in. In response to admirers searching for answers, Yandy remained relatively silent online, posting no photos or stories and only one cryptic remark on a close friend's story, a black backdrop with white letters that read, "The mask always slips eventually." Fans began speculating immediately. Was she confirming the fight? Was she talking about Erica? Or was she referring about Mendeecees? Erica, on the other hand, took a completely different approach later that day when she went live standing in her kitchen with a cup of coffee, hair in a messy bun. She addressed the rumors without directly naming anyone. People love to play innocent until the cameras roll, then they act like victims. But the reality doesn't need a script. Thousands joined the live within minutes. Remarks flooded the discussion. Are you talking about Yandy? Did you really smack him? What receipts you got? Though Erica didn't say names, she didn't have to. The inference was loud and clear, and that just made fans more impatient to see the film behind the scenes. MTV and the production. According to insiders, the corporation was in panic mode. The legal team had been called in, and there were conflicting conversations over how to continue. One executive apparently wanted to remove the footage totally, calling it potentially lawsuit-worthy, while another executives, on the other hand, recognized the potential for big numbers and argued that the sequence should broadcast with minor adjustments. According to individuals close to her, Yandy was outraged not only at Erica, not just at the purported messages, but also at production. She felt blindsided, deceived, and they knew something was brewing and they allowed it happen. She reportedly informed a fellow cast member during a phone call that same night. "They set me up for drama and now they want to look astonished." It blew up in their faces. Mendeecees kept silent on social media, which only inflamed conjecture. Fans began digging up previous stories, past articles, even outdated screenshots that may or may not have been real. People wanted answers and they were willing to accept anything. The tension reached a boiling point barely 3 days after the incident when the cast was supposed to gather for a mandated mediation meeting. No cameras, no press, only production, legal, and key cast. According to leaked details, the meeting was hostile from the second Yandy and Erica entered the same room. Yandy was wearing a modest black jacket, and when the mediator asked if anyone wanted to begin, sunglasses, reportedly refused to even make eye contact with Erica. Yandy was the first to speak, saying, "I don't care what needs to happen," with a calm but chilly voice. "I'm not filming another second with her on this season. Not after what she did." Erica allegedly sat back in her chair and rolled her eyes. "You think you're the boss of this show?" she questioned, searching old tapes, combing through interviews, and replaying every Erica Mena and Mendeecees contact they could find. Everyone wanted the truth, or at least their version of it. But while fans disputed possibilities behind closed doors, things were becoming even after production meetings got tense. MTV's legal team was allegedly split. Half were pressing to delay airing the episode until additional study, while others claimed that taking out the slap would really make things worse because viewers already knew too much and deleting it would just establish guilt. Someone reportedly stated, "We're not hiding a slap. We're deciding how to exhibit it." That was when Yandy allegedly sent an email requesting full transparency. She wanted to view the original tape unedited. Meanwhile, Mendeecees, who had been relatively silent, finally consented to speak with producers from Chimera, and what he gave, according to a leak, changed the entire tenor of the narrative. In his meeting, he apparently confessed that he had in fact interacted with someone Erica's circle, not directly with Erica's niece, as initially stated, but with a woman who was connected to her. He said it wasn't wrong because it was related to an old business transaction that never materialized and that he never messaged her in any provocative, "I'm not denying touch," he allegedly told producers, "but I am denying purpose." If someone wants to create a narrative, they can make anything look guilty. When questioned why he didn't immediately state this on camera, he replied, "Because I didn't want to give Erica any more camera time than she already stole." This partial admission set off alarm bells not only for Yandy, who insiders say already knew something was wrong, but also for MTV, who were now holding a grenade and trying to figure out whether to pull the pin. And then came another twist. Just when the production crew believed they had a handle on the mayhem, a new video surfaced online, grainy, shaky, and clearly taken without authorization, showing part of the conflict from a different angle. The perspective wasn't great, but it showed the moment Erica leaned in and administered the slap, followed by Yandy screaming in horror. Within minutes, the film was reposted, screen recorded, slowed down, studied, and picked up exclusively by bloggers. Leaked film of Erica Mena's slap one headline read another, labeled it the most unhinged moment in Lehal history. The video picked up over 1 million views in 12 hours. MTV was now under pressure from all sides. Fans wanted explanations. Cast members wanted safety. Attorneys in silence back in Atlanta. The rest of the cast was being drawn into the tempest. Rashida, who had initially remained neutral, was apparently now siding with Yandy behind the scenes, according to a source close to her. Crossed the line. She stated Erica should have addressed it with words, not hands. Other cast members were more divided. Jessica White allegedly told filmmakers during her next confessional shoot that she understands why Erica lost it. Fine, but I understand it. But I understand it. The pressure, the cameras, the history with these individuals, it builds up. Even Bambi had something to say. Though she wasn't directly engaged, she allegedly replied in a group text conversation, "Ain't nobody hitting my boyfriend walking away. Yandy's got every right to flip." Her message was leaked, of course, and added fuel to the fire. Erica, unconcerned about the reaction, doubled down the day after the leaked footage went viral, posting a cryptic reel on Instagram. Was a slow-motion video of her going through a hallway in full glam with the statement, "When the world wants a villain, give them one." Fans flooded the comments with both admiration and indignation. Some hailed her iconic, while others demanded she was permanently removed from the show. But the biggest event came a few days later when MTV published an internal memo that was not public but leaked to the press within hours. The memo indicated that while the incident was under active review, Erica's participation in the following 2 tapings was postponed till further notice. It wasn't a full suspension, but it wasn't business as usual either. Yandy reaction silence. Not a word. Not a post, nothing. Until she emerged unexpectedly on an Instagram live with Rashida during a casual late night. When they were sipping wine, playing music in the background, and conversing with fans, the comments exploded with queries. Yandy, what happened? Did Erica really punch him? Are you leaving the show? Rashida looked at Yandy almost warningly. But Yandy grinned and added, "You people think that if you keep silent, you're guilty. But sometimes silence means you've said everything you needed to say." Fans took that as proof, blogs took it as ammunition, and the narrative just grew larger. For his part, he finally broke his quiet with a modest Instagram post with a black and white photograph of his hand embracing his kids and the words "protect peace at all costs." Fans read into it, and some interpreted it as emotional. Others claimed he was playing the victim. No one agreed, but everyone had an opinion. Behind the scenes, MTV was already changing future filming schedules. New call sheets apparently did not include Erica. Meanwhile, Yandy continued to carry herself with a serenity that only made the situation more heated. She didn't reply online, she didn't address the blogs, but she was turning up to every scheduled shot, doing every confessional, and according to the crew, doing her best on-camera work to date. But something had changed about her. A source on set described her as quietly burning, was focused, professional, but different, colder. When Erica's name came up in passing, she'd purse her lips and look away. When asked about Mendeecees, she simply answered, "We're dealing with it." The tone was always flat. Even the same couldn't be said for Erica. Isolated from the main filming schedule, she spent more time online than ever before. Her stories were chaotic. One day cryptic statements about betrayal, the next day luxurious spa photos and happy selfies. Fans were divided. Was she spiraling or planning? Or was she simply relishing the chaos she helped build? Things came to a head again during the taping of a group event that Erica was contractually bound to attend, a foundation dinner given by Scrappy and Bambi. Producers had no choice but to accept her appearance. But the precautions were severe, with 2 separate entrances, separate glam squads, and one firm rule: no contact between Erica and Yandy. However, reality TV seldom respects boundaries, so when Erica entered the venue late, tension cracked like thunder, and phones went up. Even the bartenders mumbled, "Oh no, not her." Yandy was already sitting at her table with Rashida and Jessica. The